Welcome back, traders and investors. We have Joe Gits on the line, and he is founder and CEO of Social Market Analytics. And usually, when you come on, Dennis goes, "Joe, Joe, Joe, how you doing?"
Good morning, guys. I am doing great. How are you? It's been too long.
Yeah,
It's been way too long. We need our fix here, Joe. What's the social media saying here this morning?
Well, we've got a lot of good stuff this morning, covering a lot of good sectors and industries, and we have primarily this morning. At this time, we normally have a lot more positives than we do negatives, but today, however, we've got a pretty strong list on the negative side.
really.
So
Well, hey,
social
Joe,
media is talking about taking some profits today.
Joe, before we haven't had you on in a couple weeks, but could you just explain your product a little bit to people here that may not be familiar with it, and then we'll go into some individual issues.
No, I appreciate that. So what we're doing is we are quantifying the opinions of professional investors. So through social media. So we listen to the full Twitter fire hose, and we turn the opinions of those professional investors into actionable intelligence for traders. So every morning, our customers get a list of the top and bottom securities in social media prior to market open. They can follow a real-time dashboard and set alerts so that you know when something is acting abnormally positive or negative. For example, yesterday morning, Harley Davidson, they started talking about the new electric Harley really early compared to the media. And a perfect example yesterday was Harley Davidson. So we quantify the opinions of professional investors. We clean the accounts, we clean the tweets, and what comes out of that is actionable intelligence, basically market intelligence that's not available yet to the general public.
And what stocks do you see moving on this negative list here this morning?
All right, so and again, it's a really interesting because normally when I talk to you guys, we have a lot more positive. So Darden Restaurants, DRI.
Yeah.
Number one, negative 4.172. And I haven't had a chance this morning to look at news and stuff, so you guys might have a lot more information.
Yeah,
Okay.
DRI, disappointing earnings. But tell us about the number. When you see a 4, what does that mean? Because that's a huge negative number.
That is an enormous negative number. So what we're doing is we're describing the conversation relative to a normal conversation. So Darden had disappointing earnings. People are talking negative. The current conversation is 4 standard deviations more negative than a normal conversation. That means the conversation is more negative than 99% of prior conversations. So that's 4 standard deviations away from the norm.
What's number 2?
Number 2 on the list this morning is Pier 1.
PIR. We haven't got to that one yet. I think there was a downgrade at Deutsche Bank, actually. Yeah, there was.
Yeah, so Pier 1 is number 2. Smith & Wesson.
Yep, we talked about that one. Gunmaker.
Oracle.
Yep.
Oh, gosh, you guys I should have listened to this show. Sorry.
No, you're good. It's just confirming that all these stocks are down, and social media is banking that they continue to move down.
Coach.
Yep.
They haven't seen the results of my wife's latest shopping trip. Not yet, at least. So Coach is number 5. Amcor Technology, AMKR.
That's one we haven't taken a look at yet.
Wow, that's an interesting one. Bring up this chart here, Joel. AMKR. This thing has been on a 4-month tear. It was $5 back in February. Just went up to 12, and look at what we see up there at 12. Double, triple top, Joel, and then in the reversal yesterday.
Joe, can you share any of the tweets? The particular tweet?
Oh, yeah, actually, let's go and take a look at Amcor. And this one, I bet, I'm pulling them up right now, but I bet it's going to be a lot of technical analysis. And what we do is we listen to the actual tweets, we parse them for words and phrases. So you'll have some tweets and some conversations that are about technical, some that are about product quality, some that are about earnings and fundamentals. So it's really interesting to see how this stuff comes up. So give me a second here. It's just loading up.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk technical about this one all day long here. Yeah, because you had the triple top, and now you're coming down, Dennis. And look at this this $11.50 level. That's really been a support. And now you closed near that low. You hit $11.58 yesterday, then Go back, you had 3 lows between 1150 and 1162. Vavoom, you take out 1150. I'm looking for 1102. That was a low on June 2nd.
All right, so these are comments about the last one, the most recent one that came in a little bit ago was a parabolic, and I don't know what all these guys are, so I'm going to just read it, and you guys can interpret it.
Okay.
So it's parabolic SAR cell signals for Amcor, BC, BRCM, and there are a whole bunch of individual securities. So that's a technical. Amcar seems to be topped out at 1227 and a bear engulfing candle yesterday.
Okay.
And then it seemed like this one is from it's time for take some profits in Amcar.
I think so too.
Yeah, so those are the kind of things that people talk about. And if you have enough broad opinion on something like whether it's a technical or an earnings or something like that, the security follows at a statistically significant level. We have 2.5 years of mathematical proof that these securities move in that direction. So that Amcar and then KBR services, KBR.
Okay. I just want to add one more thing on the Amcar. Going back on April 29th, you had a big volume day of almost 6 million shares, and the issue rallied nicely on that day. Had excellent follow through on the upside from that big volume day. Now, yesterday, not as big a volume as on the 29th, but you did have a big volume day yesterday, 4.3 million. That volume was to the downside here. So, statistically, mathematically, volume-wise, chart-wise here, I'm in agreement with you on this one, Joe.
Cool. And then last significant Caterpillar.
The cat, hey.
On the negative. We just had Johnny Spangler was asking about that one. So you're seeing it negative here today, the cat.
Negative on cat, number 8 on the short list.
Oh, well, there's a little bit because it hasn't moved yet here. So maybe we're looking at this one where it's been the consolidation for the last 4 days to continue that big down move that we had from 5 days ago.
And then there are 2 more that aren't statistically significant but interesting names, Cisco and Conagra. So Cisco only has a negative 1.31. And Conagra is just a negative 1, but they're still in the top 10. I'm sorry, in the bottom 10.
Cisco, you got a level there, folks. 24, 40, 24, 45, 46, 41, and 45. The last 4 lows. Probably a stretch here, but the Oracle, maybe a little bit of old school tech selling here. But keep an eye, 24, 40, major level for Cisco Systems.
All right, cool. And then let's go to long side. So on the top sentiment stocks, and basically what this means is that people are talking, number one, for example, CarMax. People are talking 4 standard deviations, 4.2 standard deviations, more positive than normal. And this one is interesting because it also has a 4.1 volume S-score and a dispersion of 0.73. That means that the conversation is very broad. There are a lot of different people talking about CarMax in a positive manner this morning.
It's on fire. It's number 1 on the leaderboard here right now, so it's up 16% after their earnings, so not surprising. What's number 2?
Hog.
The Hog.
Yeah, that one was a great one yesterday. That one, if you look at the chart on Hog, it's been trending positive for a while. So there was a lot of early information on that one. Timken. TKR. So this is what's interesting. One of the things that's interesting about social media, everybody knows they're going to watch Apple, Google, Facebook, Hog today, those kind of stocks. But social media brings out a lot of securities and that people wouldn't normally trade. And Timken, TKR.
This is a smaller one. Yeah, it broke out to a new, I think it's a new 52-week high there. Yeah, it is. That might be a new all-time high, actually, for TKR. So stocks making new all-time highs, and social sentiment thinks it could go higher.
Yep. Targa Resources. TRGP.
TRGP.
That one absolutely crazy there yesterday. Was there news on that yesterday? What was the news, Brentster, on that one yesterday? If Brentster is still there.
Yeah, that was the one with Energy Transfer Partners. That's ticker ETP or ETE. You can also look at the rumor late in the day yesterday. Huge pop right before the close was that there was interest by Energy Transfer in Targa. This morning, the company Target Resources came out, said that those discussions have been terminated, and back down we go.
Okay. All right, so there's one that's probably still following yesterday's stuff. Lazy Boy, LZB.
Oh yeah, Lazy Boy.
Positive? You got positive. It's
I have
actually,
positive.
you know what? You know what? It actually did bounce off those earnings. It did bounce back here. So this was one I didn't want to pick a bottom on, but it did bounce back a bit yesterday. So it's saying the social media is saying this could continue up.
Well, upgrades. There was an upgrade this morning.
Okay.
And I don't know who it is, but that's what they're talking about right now because that was one that here's one that came in. It was a little bit old 2 hours ago. Dead cat bounce today on Lazy Boy.
Gotcha. Now we got Dr. J in the room here in the chat asking about Boeing, B-A.
All right. Let me take a look here.
Hey, Dennis, have you noticed anybody sticking around at 133 there? Because we've had the last 5 highs between 132.92 and 133.13 trading up into the pre-market. I mean, that is a pretty looking chart here. Breaking out above 133. You got some open real estate to 134.17. Just wonder if they can take care with the SPOOs trading up $4. How's that looking according to fair value here at 133.09?
That's right around in at fair value here right now, but actually I'm seeing nothing in the book. I can go to the imbalance and tell you what that's looking like this morning. It's 100,000 to buy. Like I said, these imbalances are ridiculously large right now. They usually typically get offset. There's still 40 minutes for other institutions to come in and offset those imbalances, so I'd expect those imbalances to get much smaller before the 9:30 open. But as of right now, Boeing would open significantly higher.
Hey. It's 0.622 positive. Generally positive tweets, but nothing major positive. It's positive, but not I wouldn't make it a move based off social media.
I want to ask you about, and this is going back a little bit longer term. You're going off Twitter here. How are the tweets on Twitter? I mean, there was a lot of bullishness by the street.
Yep.
Really couldn't move it. Finally, after the streets got done upgrading it, it did make a nice move here, filled the gap. With all during this consolidation period here, did you see any statistical significance in the tweets on Twitter?
Twitter itself is a 0.381 positive. Nothing really statistically significant on Twitter itself. They put it in with Netflix, Google, Apple, and so a lot of times the conversations about Twitter are referencing some of these other regularly traded names. So there's really nothing significantly. There's nothing statistically significant on Twitter as of this morning. I can go through the big boys if you guys are interested. Apple slightly negative this morning. Google slightly positive. Twitter we talked about. Facebook negative. IBM negative, but only 0.493. Bed Bath & Beyond is a 1.346 positive with a slightly larger volume. Green Mountain Coffee is slightly negative. And one that I get every week from your chat room is Urinairs URZ. Nothing in the Twitter sphere on that one today. Whoever keeps asking about that, I just thought I'd preempt that one.
And how negative is the Smith & Wesson?
Smith & Wesson is number 3 on the negative. Number 3 on the negative chart with a negative 3.370.
So 3 standard deviations more negative than normal.
That is correct. And it's got big volume today.
Wow.
Yeah, big volume on that one today. We didn't finish up these long ones, and I'd just like to throw some names out there for you. Celgene Corporation, CELG.
It's been hot. It's one of your bio. It's almost. Is that a new high for Celgene? Because this is one I've actually, full disclosure, I have this in my investment portfolio. No, I guess it got up to 174.66. But I always watch Biogen, BIIB, with Celgene. They often do track each other. And Biogen has not come back to its highs that it was making in March, but Celgene has. The stock has been really hot as of late, and then the big pop yesterday.
All right, let me look up BIIB and see what we got on there. Just slightly negative today on that one. Negative 2.69 on Biogen this morning.
Okay, we've had Joe Gits on, and he is founder and CEO of Social Market Analytics. He is using all that information from the Twitter sphere to make some trades in the markets. Joe, great to have you back
Thanks,
on.
guys.
Yeah, we'll talk to you again soon. Have a good day.
See you next week. Look forward to it.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Always great, Joe. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.